Move your things. We're the family now. My brother grinned, his fiancée already measuring wall space. Get used to sharing. We'll be living here from now on. I'm sure you'll love having us. I stood there holding the tray of leftover cupcakes from their wedding. In my kitchen. In my apartment. They had used it as their wedding venue last weekend. Free space, free view, free everything. I hosted, cleaned, smiled. And somehow, I was now the uninvited guest in my own home. My name is Eden Waverly. I'm 29. And if you think you know how this ends, stay tuned. Because what happens when politeness becomes the rope they use to choke you? I watched them push past me with boxes. My brother, who hadn't paid a single bill in 5 years. His new wife, acting like she'd won a prize instead of married into debt. They waved at my neighbors like they'd just bought the place. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I just walked outside and nodded. That was the signal. My lawyer, parked at the curb in a black car, stepped out. He carried a folder. Inside, the lease termination letter, the cease and desist, and a formal trespassing notice. See, what they didn't know was this. I don't just own this apartment. I own the building. The papers were served before they could finish unpacking. My brother's smile cracked. His wife dropped the tape gun. He opened his mouth to protest, but the lawyer turned to me and asked, calm and clear, would you like them escorted out now? Or in an hour? I didn't blink. Now. And just like that, the wedding gifts weren't the only things getting removed. They were still arguing as the building's private security escorted them to the moving truck, the same truck they thought they'd unpack into my life. My brother kept shouting, you can't be serious. We're family. His wife hissed under her breath, she's bluffing. She's always been dramatic. But the papers weren't a bluff. They were notarized. Filed. Enforceable. I watched from the second-floor window as my building manager pointed them toward the exit. They looked small from up there, like the kind of people who live big in group chats and family barbecues, but shrink when faced with someone who finally stopped flinching. 2 hours later, my mother called. Sweetheart, you didn't have to go that far. You know your brother is going through a lot. I didn't respond right away. She continued, he thought it would be nice to live close. He's newly married. You should be happy for him. He thought he could steal my home, I said softly. That's not closeness. That's entitlement. She exhaled sharply. Don't turn this into a drama. Drama? I bit back a laugh. For years, I had played the easy daughter. The helper. The one who gave in. Paid for Dad's dental surgery. Helped my brother cover rent. Hosted every Easter. Every Christmas. And now, when I finally said no, I was dramatic. But I wasn't mad. No. I was awake. Because sometimes, peace doesn't come with forgiveness. It comes with locked doors and legal signatures. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilty for choosing myself. The group chat lit up that night like fireworks. Sister-in-law. Some people think money makes them better than family. Sad. Mom. She always thought she was smarter than the rest of us. Guess she's proving it. Uncle Ron chimed in. Wasn't that apartment given to her in the will? That's family property. Family property? No. It was my investment. My sweat, my late nights, my side gigs stacked on top of a full-time job to buy this building before I turned 28. No help. No handouts. I watched them type lie after lie, all while sipping tea in the penthouse unit. The irony? They only loved this building after seeing wedding photos on social media. Now it was ours. I didn't respond, but I did forward screenshots to my lawyer, just in case they tried something stupid. And stupid came quickly. The next morning, my brother showed up again, this time with our mother. She rang the bell like she was ordering brunch. When I opened the door, she said sweetly, "We just want to talk, honey." Behind her, my brother was holding a stack of mail. You still get family letters here. That means it's shared space, technically. I didn't flinch. Instead, I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. Any further contact without an appointment will be treated as harassment, I said calmly, holding up the printed notice. You've both been legally informed. My brother's face turned red. My mother's jaw clenched, and for the first time in my life, they had nothing left to say. They backed off, at least publicly. But passive aggression doesn't need a front door. The family chat became a shrine of sarcasm. Memes about ungrateful daughters. Quotes like, "Money is temporary, blood is forever." Photos of my brother's new apartment with captions like, "Not as fancy, but at least it's built on love." I stayed silent. Silence is a weapon they don't understand. Until one message broke the rhythm.
Dad.
A voice note. He never texted, never defended me. But this time, his voice crackled through. "You went too far, kid. That apartment could have brought us closer together. Instead, you've divided this family. Are you proud of that? Proud?"
No. Exhausted.
I sat alone in my living room, a sunset spilling gold across the hardwood floors. The same floors I refinished myself. The same kitchen I tiled by hand after a 12-hour shift. They saw a building. I saw survival. Years of saying yes just to be allowed a seat at a table I helped build. Now they were mad because I built a new table and locked the doors. That night, I drafted a message. Not for revenge. For truth. To anyone who thinks I owe them space, time, or property, ask yourself when you last offered me help without strings. You remember holidays I hosted, but forget who cleaned up after your children, who paid the bills when no one else could. I'm not angry. I'm done. I hit send and went for a walk. Behind me, my phone buzzed nonstop. But for once, I didn't need to read it, because I already knew. A silence that speaks truth is louder than any screaming room. The fallout was immediate. Uncle Ron left the chat. My cousin Sarah texted privately. "You're so brave. I wish I could do what you did." But the rest? They did what people always do when control slips away. They rewrote the story. Now I was mentally unstable, ungrateful, even possessed by bitterness. They didn't just want my apartment. They wanted the version of me that would hand it over with a smile and bake a pie after. The version who laughed at being used. That version no longer existed. But I didn't gloat. I got busy. I scheduled an inspection, updated all the building's locks, installed security cameras, motion lights, new signage, legally posted a notice. Private property. Trespassers will be prosecuted. Then I got an email from a reporter. She'd seen my public message making waves in a local community forum. Apparently, other women were commenting. Same thing happened to me. I thought I was crazy until I read this. "You're not alone." The reporter asked for an interview. I hesitated, then said yes. Not for fame. For power. For every daughter who was told, "Give us everything, and if you ask for respect in return, we'll call you selfish." The article dropped on a Friday. Headline: "Not ungrateful, just done. How one woman took back her voice and her property." That same day, I got a call from a lawyer I didn't recognize. "Your family's been circulating rumors that you committed fraud to buy the apartment. Want help filing a defamation suit?" I smiled. I'd been silent long enough. Now they were going to learn. A boundary isn't disrespectful. It's the start of self-respect. I didn't sue. Not yet. Because lawsuits give them a stage. And I wasn't offering tickets to my pain anymore. But I did file a cease and desist. Through the very lawyer they mocked years ago, when I said I wanted legal protection for my apartment. Funny how quickly silence becomes credibility. When it's printed on official stationery, the gossip slowed. But one person didn't stop. My brother. He sent a long message. 4 paragraphs. Guilt masquerading as love. "You know I didn't mean to hurt you. I was trying to build something. I thought we could share. You have more than enough. Can't we be family again?" Family. They always dangle that word like a shiny fishing hook. But I was done swallowing barbed bait. I didn't reply. Instead, I sent one sentence to my lawyer. "Please begin drafting the ownership transfer clause reversal." Because here's the twist. Years ago, out of fear and love, I'd added his name to a shared inheritance clause. Not full ownership, but a foothold. I'd forgotten. He hadn't.
He exploited it. But now?
Now I had receipts, evidence, documentation of his attempted coercion. My lawyer called it textbook manipulation bordering on exploitation of trust. The reversal would take a few weeks, but it was in motion. And while the papers moved through the system, I moved through something too. A quiet, slow rebirth. I painted the front door blue, replaced the living room couch, got rid of the family photo wall, hung up landscapes instead. And every evening, I lit one candle.
Same time.
Same spot. Not for them. For me. Because healing isn't loud. It's ritual, repetition, and reclaiming space one peaceful inch at a time. 3 weeks later, I received the envelope.
Thin. White.
Quietly powerful. Inside it, the final approval. The reversal clause had been accepted. His name? Removed.
Permanently.
No more loopholes. No more visits. No more pretending shared blood means shared ownership. I placed the document on my kitchen table, then made myself a coffee like it was any other Tuesday. Because that's what healing feels like when you've earned it. Normal. Quiet. Complete. I didn't call anyone. I didn't announce it online. But my brother knew, because he showed up that evening. No moving truck. No suit. Just him. And a bouquet of cheap flowers, already wilting. He stood at the edge of the driveway, unsure. "Can we talk?" he asked, eyes darting toward the front door. I stepped outside.
Closed the door behind me.
Again. "This place means a lot to me," he said. "It's where we had holidays. It's where Dad." His voice cracked like a cracked vinyl record, nostalgia warped by damage. "You tried to steal it," I said softly. "Not once." Repeatedly. He looked down. I was desperate. "Things aren't great at home." "I'm not your emergency exit," I replied. "And I'm definitely not your backup plan." He took a step closer. I didn't move. Because this time, I wasn't going to shrink just to avoid his guilt. He offered the flowers. I didn't take them. Instead, I opened the mailbox beside us and placed them inside. "Next time, write a letter," I said. "If I feel like reading it, I will." Then I walked back inside, locked the door behind me, and lit my candle. Because peace isn't always loud. Sometimes it sounds like a door clicking shut and staying that way. The next morning, I opened the blinds and let the light flood the apartment. My apartment. Every inch of it was earned, not just through documents and lawyers, but through boundaries no one thought I'd ever enforce. I stood in the living room where he'd once rolled in that oversized suitcase like he owned the place. Now it was quiet. Still. Mine. I watered the plant near the window, the one Mom gave me years ago, and forgot she had. It had survived 3 repottings, 2 droughts, and 1 near-death winter. Somehow it still bloomed. Kind of like me. Later that afternoon, I passed by the mailbox and noticed the flowers were gone. But a note had replaced them. "I'm sorry. You were right. I was wrong."
J.
No excuses. No manipulation. Just 6 words. Enough?
No.
But a beginning. I didn't reply. Because closure doesn't always mean reopening the conversation. Sometimes it's choosing peace over performance. Dignity over drama. That night, I sat on the balcony, watching the city breathe beneath me. My neighbor's wind chimes swayed like it always did, soft and irregular. I never noticed how peaceful it sounded before. For years, I was the family's doormat in heels, smiling, bending, accommodating.
But now?
Now I live in a home with locks I trust, walls I own, and silence that doesn't hurt. My story isn't revenge. It's reclamation. Not because I shut them out, but because I finally let myself in. The last door they slammed was the first door I truly closed, and that's where healing began.